Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. This is your boy Rich from Rich TV Live, and we are live. Hope you're all having a good day. I know that there's a lot of stocks that are down. I know there's a lot of stocks that are up. In the cannabis sector, it looks like there's more down than up right now. And let's just get into it. I hear so many people putting in their 2 cents. Everybody's got an opinion about what's going on. A lot of panic everywhere is something I see. I've been seeing consistently for this is the 7th month in a row now where we've seen a lot of red. And I was hoping that we'd see some green in October. And we've had a couple of green days, but not the greatest start so far, that's for sure. Elad says, how you doing, bro? I'm doing good. I'd be doing better if the cannabis stocks did something positive. Dylan says, yes, I believe cannabis will turn around. Dylan says, I'm loving the panic and negative news. Elad says, buying opportunity. Anthony Rice says, good morning, Rich. Good morning, Anthony. How you doing? Robert says, hi, Rich. How you doing, Robert? Nicholas DeBartolo says, sup, stock god. Holly Moore says, hi, Rich. How you doing, Holly? Five Finger Limited says, what's up, Rich? Sitting on my hands for now, watching OGI under 3 US. Buying opportunities everywhere. Infinite Possibility says, I know that it will turn around. It looks bad right now, though. It looks very bad. Manny says, Medman got some lovely news today. Beth Barra says, hi, Rich and everyone. AJ DeSplinter says, what's up? Thoughts on Alethea afria? Elad says, purchased 5,000 Xena. Great price for Xena. Shelby says, I hope so. I'm getting frustrated as well, just trying to stay positive. The Great GT says, good day, Rich. Good day. How you guys doing? Oh, my thoughts. What goes down must go up. What goes up must come down. I think that this is a buying opportunity. I believe there's a lot of companies that are going to double from here, if not more. And these opportunities are a gift. These prices are a gift, in my opinion. Chris Deering says, ACB in the green. What up, Rich? Yeah, a lot of people earlier today were complaining about ACB being red again. ACB is now green, slightly. Couple stocks that are up today right now. Let's take a look. Percentage gainers in Canada. Ignite is up. Yeah, Bills has been doing really well. Lorenzo, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are scared, and there's a lot of people that are jumping in right now. I mean, a lot of people are buying Xena at these prices because this is the lowest they've ever seen it. Believe Inc. up 16%. Nutritional High International Inc. an edible stock up 4%. Heritage Cannabis Holdings up 4%. Isodiol up 3%, almost 4%. THC Biomed up 3%. Lift & Co. up 3%. Valens Growworks Corp. up 2%. Alethea Health up 1%. Canopy Growth up 1%. Canopy Growth under $30 seems like the buy. Every time it goes under 30, it seems to want to jump. So I don't really think Canopy is going to stay under 30 too much based on the way it's been trading. I think Aurora Cannabis around $5 is definitely a buy. In my opinion, Aurora will double from these prices. I think the Canopy will double from these prices. I think a lot of companies are going to double from these prices. I think Afria at $6.96 doubles from these prices. I think Hexo at $4.85 doubles from these prices. I think Organigram at $4.24 doubles from these prices. I think the Green Organic Dutchman at $1.78 doubles from these prices. I think Oxley at 78 cents doubles from these prices. So the upside from here is phenomenal. The upside from here is phenomenal. What do I think of ACB announcing sublingual tabs? I mean, any news that these guys announce is good. Will that help their bottom line? That remains to be seen. Do I think Kronos will double? Kronos is at 11 bucks, 11.50. I could see them going back to 23. But I think Kronos is, in my opinion, they're still overvalued based on their revenue. Pete Ferrero says, Rich bought Cresco at 552. Will Cresco double? I say it does. I say it does. I believe it will. I think a lot of these stocks are going to double. I think Rivers is going to double from the $2 price right now. I think Valens Growworks will double from the $3.16 price right now. I think there's a lot of stocks that are set to double. Now, let's take a look at the U.S. side. The Canadian side isn't down that much today, actually. It's just slightly down. Let's take a look at the U.S. side today. You know, I've been watching this market for 2.5 years. This January will be 3 years. I've never seen 6 months or 7 months straight of red. I mean, it definitely is showing that this market is very volatile. I believe this is creating a buying opportunity for a lot of new investors to get in. Wow, MedMan is just tanking today. Wow. Alexinol up 4%, M Jardine up 3%, Planet 13 up 3%. Kushco up slightly, Green Thumbs up slightly, TerraTech up slightly, but for the most part, lots of red. Curaleaf, red slightly. GW Pharma at 117, red slightly. Harvest Health and Recreation down 7%. Cresco Labs down 5%. Charlotte's Web at 1361, down 3%. Acreage Holdings at 674, down 4.5%. Trulieve Cannabis down slightly. Trulieve's been holding its price pretty strong, actually, amongst all this red. Canna Royalty down 5% at 422 in America. Green Growth Brands down 3%. MedMan down 15%. Ianthus down 6%. CV Sciences down 3.6%. MariMed down 2.7%. Grow Generation Corp down 2.13%. Liberty Health Sciences down 1.3%. And Body and Mind Inc. down 1.95%. Lorenzo says, doesn't the market always get funky around this time of the year? Like this time of the year, last year was flying. And then around October 15th, it died. And it was dead until December 27th. And then around December 27th, it started to come back. And then January, it exploded. And that continued until the end of March, a little bit into April. And then April was our first red month of 2019. And we've been red ever since. Do I like it when stocks are getting crushed? No. Do I think it's a buying opportunity? Yes. Do I feel like these cannabis stocks will go up? Absolutely. Do I think that they're in trouble right now? Absolutely, I do. I do think they're in trouble right now because right now there is a lot of negative sentiment, and it seems like they can take them down anytime they want to. And that's creating a lot of fear. It's creating a lot of panic. Yeah, some people are buying these dips, but there's a lot of people selling. There is. I think that these opportunities right now in the sector are unbelievable. I think that there's a lot of stocks that are going to double from here. I think that if you stick with the best, specifically the best right now and the biggest, Aurora Cannabis, Afria, Canopy Growth, Curaleaf, Trulieve, GTII, Valens Growworks, MetaPharm Labs. If you stick with those 8, and you load up at these levels, you're laughing. You're absolutely laughing. Well, I think that for anyone that's holding stocks, it sucks that your stocks are going down. But anybody that is getting started is laughing at getting in at these prices, whether you're institutions, whether you're hedge funds, whether you're investors, high net worth investors, young investors. This is a fantastic time to get into the cannabis sector. Yeah, some people are saying that the bottom is not in yet. Clearly, we're still seeing a lot of selling pressure all across the industry. So, yeah, clearly that we haven't seen the bottom. Clearly, we haven't seen the bottom. But like an instant, it can change. Hey, man, we all want the stocks to go up. But at the end of the day, I'm not the one that makes them go up. I'm an investor just like you guys. And at the end of the day, if you want to make money on the way down, you can make money on the way down. You can short stocks, you can buy puts. And I told you guys that I'm working on an options trading course. And there's a lot of members that are going to make a lot of money buying puts in the future when you learn how to trade options, which are contracts. And essentially, you're betting that stocks are going to go either up or they're going to go down. And right now, during a bear market, you can make a lot of money betting that stocks are going to go down. Yeah, I think that anytime you see a stock that's down, that's a buying opportunity, especially if it's a good company like Amazon. So I agree with you. If you can get into Amazon at the lower level, yeah, you can definitely see some upside. Do I know who are the market makers? Market makers are the institutions. Like Knight is typically, well, Knight can represent a few institutions, but typically Knight is like RBC in Canada. But a lot of different institutions can reflect as Knight. So the market makers are the institutions. They're the ones that make the markets. They're the ones that determine whether or not a stock is overvalued, undervalued, whether it should go up, whether it should go down. We are simply just playing a game within the game. Every stock has its low and has its high, and it's going to trade in between the low and the highs. Right now, there's a lot of selling pressure in a lot of cannabis stocks. This is going to create an amazing buying opportunity for investors that can get in at the bottom. It's really that simple. Yeah, banks play the role of market makers, institutions, hedge funds, large institutional players play the role of market makers. What do I think about using loans to buy stocks? I don't think that that's a good way to do it. I don't have a margin account. I trade in cash. I don't play with margin because if you play with margin and something goes wrong, you could owe the banks money. So I'm not a big fan of that. To each his own. Everybody has to do what makes them comfortable, but it's not a way that I like to trade. I think it's very risky. Rather play with my own money. That way I can afford to hold if something goes wrong. Clearly, a lot of things have been going wrong over the last few months. So the people that are going to do very well in a situation like this are people that are staying in cash accounts, people that can just hold, people that can accumulate at the lower levels, keep buying these stocks at 52-week lows so that when they reach 52-week highs, they can turn around and make a killing. Lorenzo Camas says, big money runs everything. That's it. And cannabis is about to see some damn big money. Yeah, I think the big money runs everything. It always has. It always will. And the cannabis sector is not even a year old in Canada, legalized. And the cannabis sector in America is yet to legalize. So we have a lot of catalysts coming. Obviously, it's rough over the last 7 months, seeing red, 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 red. And I waited for months thinking that mid-July would be the bottom. Clearly, it wasn't. We're starting to see lower lows. And as an investor, I'm kind of excited about getting into some of these positions at these prices. As an investor that's holding positions, clearly I'm not excited when my positions go down. Well, edibles legalization was supposed to happen, and obviously Health Canada is delaying it for 60 days. I think this could be the delay of the resurrection. But at this point, it's like, who knows right now? The market's so volatile. There's so much negative press right now. There's so much negative sentiment in the sector right now. There's a lot of people panicking. There's insiders that are selling. There's a lot of negative things happening in the sector, which is driving the prices down. Pete Ferrero says, with Mexico legalization, cannabis at the end of the month, will that help the markets? I think it will. I don't think it'll hurt the markets. That's for sure. Reefer Al Joint says, I love the 52-week high talking. It implies that it can take 52 weeks, not overnight. Get rich quick ideology. Nice. Yeah, well, I mean, when you're at 52-week lows, that's the best time to buy any investment. And when you're at 52-week highs, that's the time to sell. Lorenzo says, we need great news, great earnings, Fed legalization, then we'll bounce back. Right now, it's all opposite. That's the time to buy. Umair Khan says, should I buy Aurora more or not? In my opinion, yes. In my opinion, Aurora is a buy at these prices, an amazing buy at these prices. Pancho says, I said it the other day when I didn't buy Facebook and it exploded. I was kicking myself. I made it a point with cannabis. I am not missing this boat. Great time for investors to get in. Pete Ferraro says, can Mitch McConnell is 77 years old, trash, and a cannabis hater. Will he block the banking bill? I hope not. I really hope not. The one and only Doug Whitaker says, I'm loving T-God, call me crazy. Yeah, T-God is dirt cheap at these levels, but they have no revenue. So I would be careful. I think it could go lower. Paul Guzman says, how do you feel about Bev Canada's position at this time? I think Bev Canada's positioned to do quite well. We're still waiting on their license from Health Canada, and we're still waiting on revenue. Two catalysts for them, in my opinion, considering where they are, considering they don't have a license and they don't have revenue yet. I think the upside is great. Apeli Kakinen says, are we in a bottom now? We are close to the bottom. I don't know if this is the bottom, but we're definitely very close. Matt Barone says, if folks are waiting for Cannabis 2.0 to increase share prices, they are in for a rude awakening. The only hope for the sector is for the U.S. Senate to pass the Senate's Act, the State's Act. Well, I think there's a lot more hope for the sector than that. I mean, we've got edibles legalizing. We got companies that are growing in revenue. We've got quarterly financials coming consistently every quarter. I think there's going to be a lot more catalysts than just U.S. legalization. But I do believe that U.S. legalization is going to be one of the biggest catalysts this sector's ever seen. I think these prices for Aurora and Afri are a gift. Is CIBC got to do anything with the massive sell-off? It's possible. I mean, if banks are dumping positions, that could create a sell-off. Loaded up large today, 10K Afria. Very smart. Great price for Afria. I think Slang looks positive considering they've got Bruce Linton investing in them. What do I think about Harvest One ever going back to 1 Canadian? Yeah, I think it probably will when the market comes back. I think that Labs, Afria, and ACB are all great bets. Is there more profit in edibles and concentrates versus flower? I believe the profits will be good. Versus flower, I'm not sure. I'd have to take a look at those metrics more closely. But I think that the edibles is going to help. I mean, we're talking about an additional 30 to 40% revenues for these companies. Yeah, the illegal market is definitely large, and they're not really doing much to stop it. My opinion on Afria, they had bad news today. I think Afria is a sleeping giant. I think it has huge upside. Global company. I think they're going to do very well. Did I already cover the MedMan news? No, I didn't. Yeah, I am holding Aurora right now. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these companies are attacking each other right now, so blaming each other for the fact that they're not hitting their goals. You picked up 100,000 shares of Pump. Hope you win. Malcolm says, what would have to happen for you to consider selling for a loss? The company would have to be going bankrupt. Jason Garza says, it will all go up in the end. If it's not up, it's not the end. RD says, do you think the sales of flowers will go down if people are buying edibles instead? No, because I think edibles is just a whole nother market. People that like edibles buy edibles. People that like vapes buy vapes. People that like flower buy flower. People that like CBDs buy CBDs. Could it go down? Maybe a little bit, but I think overall it'll kind of even out. Veteran and Humble Analysis says Canopy Growth reduced the price of their gel caps and the sprays, THC sprays. They are now the cheapest on the market. Canopy reduces their price, full supply. Afria can't supply. Find. Yeah, I mean, that's why Canopy Growth is number one. What's happening with Namaste? Namaste needs more revenue. Mitchell Lucas says the conservative government could be holding back stores to hurt the liberals in the next elections. Possible. These politicians play interesting games. Nudica says, would this be a good opportunity for Xena to supply Alifia? I think Xena is going to supply a lot of companies. Pete Ferraro says, do you think TerraSand will be a top 10 MSO? Earnings will be over 40 million next quarter. I think they have a chance. I really like TerraSand. JJ says, do you think the upcoming news on Lesotho will boost Halo share price? I'd like to see Halo share price boost. I can't guarantee you what will boost these prices right now because the market is in a very bear market. So this is the time to buy. I don't know what's going to boost the market. It's going to take something. It could be a switch. It could be, I mean, who knows? Like, why did they take off in January? They just take off when they take off. Michiel says, in 20 years, what could be the stock price of a cannabis company? Will it be over 100 a share? Well, take a look at Scott's Miracle Grow. Scott's Miracle Grow is doing $3 billion a year in sales, 372 million in net income, and they're at $100 a share. So in my opinion, yes, a lot of these companies will be between $10 and $1,000 a share in the next 20 years. Jonathan Rivera says, hey, Rich, off subject, bro. What do you think about Target with joining Toys R Us? You know what? I need to look into that, but I think that that would be interesting. That would be very, very interesting. Veteran and Humble Analysis says, a smarter way to buy TerraSend is to buy Canopy Rivers since they own TerraSend at a much lower multiple. Yeah, I mean, that's a very good way to look at it. Ryan Hannon says dropped $110,000 today. Afria, Ianthus, Rivers, AUSA, Xena, Hexo, C-Web. Wow. I love your lineup, man. 7 giants. Love it. Hey, man. No risk, no reward, man. Am I still holding Xena? Of course. Of course. I'm going to be buying more. Cannabis is dead. If cannabis is dead, why is there 110 people on here? Clearly, cannabis is not dead. Cannabis is creating a buying opportunity. Cannabis will never be dead. Tell me cannabis is dead when people stop smoking cannabis, people stop taking CBDs, and people stop using hemp products. Then you can tell me cannabis is dead. Until then, the rest of the world will continue to watch Rich TV Live, and more people will position themselves in the cannabis sector because this is one of the fastest growing, most exciting stock market opportunities of our lifetime. Yes, NASDAQ. Investing is dead too. Investing is dead too. You're a genius. JJ says, just an FYI, a good friend and investor of Halo Labs had the chance to visit Halo production facilities. He was impressed. They are highly professional. Brett Van Herwegen says, make it rain, Rich. Hey, man, like I said, I don't control the markets. All I can do is educate, entertain, and teach people about the markets, educate people about the companies that I think they're most undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed, and have the most upside. I don't control the markets. I'm not a market maker. I'm not a bank. I'm not a whale. I'm an investor just like you guys. When the markets go down, I bleed too. When the markets go up, I make money too. So right now, in my opinion, this is a time to position ourselves in the cannabis sector. They will go up again, and the people that get in at these prices will win huge. My top 3 Canada investments. Well, I'll give you my top 5. My top 5 are Zenabis, Saniva, Aurora, Hexo, and Rivers. And I'm going to continue to buy all 5 of them and just continue to accumulate. And one day I fully intend to sell for a huge victory. Any other markets I'm eyeing at the moment? I'm eyeing all the markets, but I think that cryptocurrencies, I'm also involved in cryptocurrencies, real estate, and the cannabis stocks. Those are the 3 major markets that I like to focus on. The veteran in humble analysis says the lower price you buy, the less risk you take on. I agree 100%. Pancho says, Rich, when did you move to Vancouver from Toronto? What area did you live in Toronto? I'm actually from, well, I grew up in Dundas and Dufferin. I moved to Mississauga, spent a lot of my time in Mississauga and Etobicoke, actually. Went to school in Etobicoke, Silverthorne Collegiate, went to Humber College, Humber North, studied radio and television broadcasting there. Spent a lot of my adult life in Mississauga, Highway 10 in Eglinton by Square One area. Bought a bunch of properties around there. Moved to Vancouver in 2005. Been here ever since. I did bounce back and forth between Vancouver and Toronto between 2005 and 2009. And I've been here ever since for the last 10 years, since 2009. I'm not a big fan of Sundial. I don't like what Sundial did to Zenabis. I think they really hurt Zenabis, and I'm not a fan of that. Is Lucas Birdsall still with Agriflora? Please interview him again. I haven't spoken to Lucas, but I'm assuming he's still with them, yes. Beth Barra says, do you have an idea of when we can learn to short stocks? Shorting stocks is a whole nother animal. First, we're going to get into options trading, futures trading, which will give you the ability to make money on the way down for both the S&P 500 and any stocks that have options that allow you to buy puts. And I think in the future, I'll definitely get you into shorting, but shorting is very risky, highly risky, highly volatile, and it takes a lot of education. But yeah, I'll bring that to the community one day. I would love to do a new facility tour with Cannabis. I would love to. I've been in contact with them, but they haven't really said much. They said that they're really busy. Five Finger Limited says, I like Canadian companies better now. US companies are going to have a lot of headwinds with the vape scare. I think that's one of the biggest problems with Cannabis is that they're in the vape business and it's definitely hurting them. JJ says, do you invest with a long-term perspective, buy and hold like 10 years plus, or rather short? I invest thinking that if the stock is up 10% or more, I'm going to sell. However long I have to wait to get that 10% or more return, I will. Is CGC ready to rally? I think CGC is definitely close to a bottom. We're starting to see some big institutions positioning themselves, and I definitely think that they're close to a rally. I think Ianthus is a good company. I think that they have a lot of upside from here. How long have I been investing? Been investing for about 20 years. Been in the stock market pretty much daily since 2007. So for the last 12 years, I've been buying stocks in the stock market. DJ GJ says the vape scare is overblown fake news, in my opinion, to drive the stock prices down. It's definitely done that. Alifia is getting crushed. Yeah, I think it's unfortunate, but there's a lot of stocks getting crushed. Ryan says, knowing that there is so much upside, are you still going to sell at 10% profit? It depends, it just depends on the market sentiment. But yeah, like one of my rules is take 10% or more. So I try to stick to it. Bird Society says, do you still like Cureleaf? Yeah, absolutely. What's not to like? They're just enormous. Pancho says, is this your full-time job now? How did you get all your equity to buy homes? I've been an entrepreneur and been an investor for a long time. I'm got my hands involved in lots of different things. And made a lot of money running a marketing company for years. And that's how I got into real estate. And now I have a lot of investments and I just sell them and I use those returns I make on my investments to make more investments. What do I think about Aurora? I think Aurora is a buy. No, I sell my whole position. Verge Society says Cura got downgraded. One analyst claimed they have to open 1,500 stores US wide right now. They got like 50. Well, imagine how much money they're going to be making when they open up 1,500. Just imagine how much money they're going to be making when they open up 1,500 stores. Five Finger Limited says takes big balls to be in the stock market. Don't bet more than you can lose. I agree with you. Pancho says, I want to quit my 9 to 5 and be like you, man. Freedom is everything for me, man. I'd rather risk everything and have freedom than risk nothing and have no freedom. That's just the way I think. Price target for Aurora, I think in the next year we see Aurora back to $13 to $15. Reefer Al Joint says, I like how that mind works. Man, I've been around investing my whole life, man. I've seen highs and I've seen lows. So once you've been through it as many times as I have, it doesn't really affect you anymore. It doesn't have that same effect. What do I do for benefits? Do you just pay out of your pocket? Yeah, I just pay out of my pocket. My price target for Halo, I think long term, I think long term Halo goes to $1. People have been smoking weed since the beginning. People are going to keep smoking weed. People will not stop smoking weed. And some of these companies are going to be giants. The key is for us to identify who are those companies and get in low and sell when we see profit. Jessica says, hi, Rich. What do you think of MedMen? I think the terminated deal is better for the future. I need to get into the deal. I like MedMen. I think a lot of these companies have deals. Some deals are going to go good. Some deals are going to go bad. Some deals are going to get terminated. A lot of these companies are just disasters. Some of them are better than others. And overall, once we give ourselves some time in the next 5, 10 years, we're going to see who are the best, and the best will be blessed. When do you think Cannabis will turn around? Thanks, Rich. Yes, I do think they're going to turn around. But like all these companies, they're stuck in this beat down stage where they're just getting knocked down consistently. When are they going to turn around? I don't know. That's the $1 million question. And I've been telling investors, don't rush to buy it. Be patient. They've got a lot of selling pressure. They got an insider that's dumping millions of shares. Everybody knows that, and that's taking the price down. How can you get stress relief when stocks are going down? Well, you got to know that at some point they're going to go up. And when they go down, stay in cash, find the bottom, and buy at that bottom. Do I bun? What do you think? Is it a good time to invest in WestJet Airlines at this point? It's a good question. You know, I always liked WestJet. I thought that a few years ago was the time to buy. They've done pretty good. I think that there's upside. I think that, you know, you want to buy it at the bottom. So I don't know if they're at the bottom right now. I'd have to look at the chart more closely, but I think that they've got a lot of upside. Find the insider and burn his fingers and toes. You just flew WestJet to Mexico. It was a pretty shitty experience. Pete Ferraro says, what do you think of GNLN? Is this price a joke? Man, I don't know, man. These prices right now are crazy. It's hard to determine what anything's worth right now in the sector. The sector is so crazy. So crazy. It's funny when you see the haters and trolls come in. I've told you guys, if you guys want to make money, you guys can buy the HMJI. The HMJI is an ETF that goes up when the cannabis stocks go down. If you think the cannabis stocks are going to go down, buy the HMJI. You can short the cannabis stocks. You can buy puts on cannabis stocks that give you options to buy puts if you think that the stocks are going to go down. You can make money up or down in this sector. Fox Ultrafield says, here in Switzerland, we say buy when the canna apocalypse is here, meaning right now. Yeah, we're definitely in Armageddon for the cannabis sector. I think all investing is gambling. All investing is gambling. What, in your opinion, is the biggest reason for the downtrend? I think these stocks just were trading at unrealistic multiples. I think the street wants them to trade at realistic multiples, and they're not. And I think that's the reason for the downtrend. So, in my opinion, this is a good thing for the market. It's going to bring in more investors. It's going to bring in more money, more hedge funds, more institutional investors, more new investors, more cannabis stock enthusiasts are just going to keep pouring in at these prices. And it's going to give people an opportunity to win big. Oh, I think there's a lot of average people investing in cannabis stocks. Last time I heard, I think the number was like 800,000 investors have invested in Aurora Cannabis. It's a lot of investors. So if that number is correct, that's a lot of just average investors, in my opinion. Do I think Baker Mayfield is overrated? He's a young quarterback. You got to give him some time. Paul Guzman says, do you feel like infused beverages will overtake the edibles market? I personally feel like beverages will carry less stigma than edibles, given alcohol's popularity. But that's just me, perhaps. I think it's going to have a part. I think it's going to be a catalyst. I think it's going to have a part. I don't think it's going to take over. I think that this entire sector is going to be a part of society, and you're going to see cannabis-infused beverages. You're going to see flower, you're going to see CBD, you're going to see hemp products, you're going to see edibles on shelves all over the world. Jason Garza says, it's limbo time. How low can you go? Don't worry, people. Don't panic. Cywash says, I buy quality half ounce on the street for 100 plus. I get a good count. I have to spend 3x as much to get the same amount on the Ontario website. That is the reason I don't buy for the government. And that's the biggest issue, is the prices. And until this gets fixed, you're going to see some ups and downs in the sector. Joe Smelton says 846% returns since our July 2016 recommendation, 46% sales growth in the past year alone, estimated 98% of addressable market left to conquer. Yeah, there's so much room for growth. So much room for growth. Harvest Health and Recreation Inc. down 75% in 1 month. Amazing buying opportunity. Dixie Norma says, weather the storm, folks, and don't forget Al Bundy once scored 3 touchdowns in a single game against his alma mater. Oh my goodness, man. You want me to play Don't Panic? Pancho says, hey, Rich, what do you think of all these black market websites selling weed? Why aren't they being shut down by the government? They will be. It's harder to shut down websites than it is to actually shut down stores. So it'll take time. It's going to be a process. It's not going to happen overnight. Yeah, so at the end of the day, I wouldn't panic. In my opinion, this is a buying opportunity. I believe that the cannabis stocks will turn around. It just might not turn around exactly when you want it. Thank you guys for being here. I'll be here every step of the way to break things down, give you my opinion. I believe this is a buying opportunity. I'm going to be loading up on all the best cannabis stocks at the lowest possible prices. I'm watching them very, very carefully. Stay tuned. More videos coming, more news, more entertainment from your boy Rich at Rich TV Live. I told you, whether the stocks are up or whether the stocks are down, I'm going to pull up. In my opinion, this is a buying opportunity. We're a little bit down today in Canada, a lot down in America in the cannabis sector. Thank you guys for watching. If you're not winning, you're not watching. It's your boy Rich from Rich TV Live, and I'm out. Peace. And they will be back. They will be back. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that they will be back, and they'll be back, and they'll come back with a vengeance. Stay tuned. Buy low, sell high. It's your boy Rich from Rich TV Live. Go to www.richtvlive.com. Subscribe. We're going to have our options trading academy out soon. Futures trading academy. We got a lot of things we're working on behind the scenes. So the cannabis sector is a newly legalized sector in Canada. Not even 1 year old. It will only get bigger and it will get better. You can book it. Look at Scott's Miracle Grow, $100 stock, $3 billion in sales, $372 million in net income. That is the future of the sector. Just look at Scott's Miracle Grow. Everybody else should be chasing them. They are the example that everybody else wants to emulate. I'm out. Peace. Stay strong. The resurrection is near. It's true.